defining your vision. Many people can't, they start and quit because there's not a clear vision. There's not a clear vision. And so we're going to understand step one. You must be able to define your vision. That's why you see in most business plans, they require that you have a vision statement. A vision statement is a snapshot of your future. What do you see at the end of the moment? And what you were being liberated to do was open up the kingdom. What I was dealing with you as I walked around the room is open up what was already finished in you. But so that you now can begin to define it clearly, be able to put deadlines to it. Because you can't do principle. You can't do what you can't see. Kichi. Define. Any questions on define? You must be able to define what it is clearly. A paragraph, a snapshot, a vision statement, a mission statement. If you don't know what those words mean, I won't take the time to do it now. Go Google it. It takes you a second. Any question you have, you can Google or what is it? The Gmail it, not G, the other kind of source. I always have Siri. I have Siri every time.
Safari.
First of all, Hattie, and then Siri. I don't get home without Hattie and Siri. Because I think I'm as smart as I want to be. Just get me to Siri. I don't know this. Help me. Siri tells me. So I want you to know clearly, vision and mission. Define. Number two, design. Number two, design it. You define, design. That means you now begin to put structure to it. You begin to write mission and strategic plans to it. You begin to design it, strategic plans, your mission statement, your strategic plan. How are you going to accomplish it? You must see it, write it down, set goals to it, define, design, set strategies to reach it now. I'm keeping it simple, but every business plan is driven around these basic points. That you must be able to see it, you must define it, you must design it. Now, what is it to look like? You want to design it to the point that you can tell the story quickly, that people can run with it. One of the biggest mistakes I heard in the room, I've got multiple ideas. That's the biggest killer to the one great idea is your multiple ideas. The greatest killer to your one great idea is many mediocre ideas. So you've got to kill off all of those other mediocrity so you can stay with the major. Define, design. Number three, develop it now. Remember that defining the design it, you put it in writing. You're defining it. All of that is a part of the writing process. Nothing has happened yet. It's still within you, but you're starting to bring it out of the invisible kingdom, the heavenly, into the physical. You're writing it down. Now, this is what it's going to look like. This is how I see it. You're writing it out. It will bring greater strength and clarity and passion for you. Define, design, now develop it. Developing it now becomes where you can begin to go and ask questions. As I told you, there's people in this room, if I were you, I'd be all over them. I'd be all over them trying to say, hey, I'd like to hook up with you. Let's do a Starbucks. Let me talk. Let me call you. I may need what you have. I would want to know, if I need a motivator. I want to know about Coach Janita. If I need business or a young lady and husband team back there in terms of funding and so forth. If I wanted some other business support team in housing, I need structure. I would want to talk to Marcus. If I want video, I would want to hook up with JD. I trust him. We're showing it all over the world, the stuff that's coming out of their studio. You need to be able to quickly tell your vision so other people can see it, to run with it. People see visions. I can tell you all day I'm making water out of the air. But I think once you've seen it, you now can say, I was blind, but now I see how it operates. You want to be able to tell your story so that people can see what you're saying. Even songs now, as our brother is saying, that music is being played through videos and people see the music and now they're more adaptly abreast to it. Define, design, develop. Now number 4 is debug it. Debug it. Now we're talking about the 5 Ds. Debug it. meaning there will always be broccoli. I always call it broccoli. It's a thing I do with someone in ministry. I always tell them this, the stuff they produce had a little broccoli in it. Take it out broccoli, because there was once I had broccoli in my teeth. And there was one who loved me enough to say, "Coach, you got broccoli in your teeth." And I just grinned and had all this little broccoli. I mean, you know, that's distracting, right? And so it is with your vision. Some of your visions may have broccoli. You need to debug it now. Take all that broccoli out so you're presenting a quality product. You never want to lead with number two. You'll always lead with your best. You'll always lead with your number one. Sometimes we can be such a hurry that we hope people will see, have the vision that we have on the inside of us, that will have our same capacity to see. And so we show them dirty diapers and our babies with snotty noses and all of that. Clean up your baby before you begin to present it to the world. Define, design, develop, debug it now. And number 5, deliver it. Deliver it is the hard part. That's when most people quit. That's when you got to go out and knock on doors. You've got to, your project is wonderful, but you've got to make sure your process of presenting your product may have to change. Don't be discouraged, because it may not be your product. And we're going through that at Vertical Leap. We're challenging continually. Is our product good? If our product isn't good, we know that there's no need for us to continue. But if we have a good product, and we know it's a good product, and it's not working, our process of presenting it may need to change. So that's why you define, design, develop, debug, deliver. Are we clear?
Yes.
That's the 5 steps. I wanted to keep it simple so you can walk away and challenge your dream to those 5. Number 2, I want to talk about another, simplicity. I want to give you 4 principles of, again, birthing. Now, these are things that would take you thousands of books and words, because Coach reads. Anyone knows this? I got a library that's full of books. I mean, because I read a lot. So I want to simplify it, because when God calls you to a purpose, it should be simple for you to follow. So I'm giving you nuggets. The next nugget is birthing. It starts with the vision. Vision. How many of you have been hearing over and over again, what is it that you want? Vision. If you can't clearly see it, you're not ready to go yet. God hasn't spoken to you. You need to spend more time in worship, until you can get clearly God's mind in you. That's why worship is so important. And the enemy wants to keep you so busy that you don't have time to be still and even be ignorant. Ignorance is great if you recognize it's unconscious incompetence. I'll come back to that. Remind me to come back to that. So vision, number 2, is decision. Decision. You must make decisions. Hardest thing for people to do is make decisions. You saw me challenging you. When are you going to bring it to pass? You took all kinds of time struggling to make a decision. We talked about being your own prophet. You must put demands on your vision. You must push. You know, when you're bearing children, for you mothers in here, you can't just lay there and hope that it'll flop out. You got to push. That's your decision. You got to make a time. It's time for this thing to come now. It's full term. Let's push. Make a decision. Vision, make decisions now when you're going to do what? Set time schedules to yourself. Put deadlines, because we move as a people based on our deadlines. Vision, make decisions. Number 3 is passion. Passion. Vision, decision, passion. You cannot compromise passion. You cannot compromise passion. I'll repeat again. You heard me looking in your eyes. I'm saying you're twitching. You're going to go before our funding people. They're going to be looking, whether they realize it or not. They're going to look at your passion. Can they really see that you have the passion to fight through the giants that will come to pass? There will be giants that will avert your vision from coming to pass. There will be people that will scoff at you. There will be obstacles. So you have to have the passion from God, knowing that he has called you to this. That's why I was challenged. Is this of God? Knowing it's of God, that you won't quit. Because that's the greatest work of the enemy, is to get you to quit and commit abortion to the vision that God has given you. Vision, decision, passion. Number 4 is discipline. That's the hardest one for many. The discipline to keep the first 3 moving forward. The discipline, and that's no one can do but you. It's going to come through your passion, your commitment that this is of God to birth the vision. Now, it will come to pass if you won't quit. It will if it's of God. But only you can abort this. And it'll be based out of your lack of discipline, meaning that you'll get distracted, no different than all others, get too many tasks on your plate, get so busy that you won't be able to stay focused and have God continue to direct your steps through the process. Any questions on what I've just said on those? Do you want me to give you one more, or you got none?
No, one more.
One more? Okay, question. I see a question.
Coach, for time's sake, I know we're on a time, but I think it's appropriate to define discipline?
Delaying one's gratification, letting the lesser things die that the greater ones may live.
Wow.
Discipline. Delaying your gratification. Stop going to the movies. Stop watching a lot of these soap operas, these stupid things that after you watch it meant nothing in your life. That's why I was asking some of you, what are you reading? What are you focused on? What are you finding that you're doing when everybody else is asleep? You've got to find that thing that keeps you up at night, that things that you can't put down. You hate to sleep because you want to know so badly. That's how you begin to know what God is calling you to. He tells us in Hebrews 8, and I think it's 8 and 10, it will be a desire of your heart. You'll desire it. You'll desire it. It'll be a love. It's a want to. It's no longer being a law. It's this new dispensation of his birthing his world into existence through you. It'll be the desire of your heart.
Yes.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, next. I want to talk about, I shared with you that define, design, develop, debug, deliver. We talked about vision, decision, passion, discipline. Now I want to talk to you about ignorance. That there's a couple of states I want you to be prepared to go through. The first state, now write this down, please. I'm giving you a crash course in the minutes you give me. The first state is unconscious incompetence. Most of us don't like that place. Unconscious incompetent. That's when you're so prideful you don't want anybody to tell you about your broccoli. You're unconscious of your incompetence. We all start in a place to be great of unconscious incompetence, meaning I just didn't know I didn't know. And so you've got to be prepared to begin this journey ignorant. In Matthew 5, it talks about poor of spirit, that he will bless those that are poor of spirit, meaning you're empty. It speaks of your being like a child. You have begun this journey of kingdom building, not knowing where to go and how to do it. If you know too much, it's probably too much of the world in it, and it won't have God's anointing. It's going to be a flow by God's moving you to places he wants you to go. It's going to be a new education that God will bring in your path. So number one, be prepared to understand you're starting at unconscious incompetence. You just don't know you don't know. But then God will lead you when you have a hunger, this passion, to where you become conscious of your incompetence. If you think of musicians, my brother who was playing music, it started at a place where you were unconscious incompetent to your conscious incompetence. You had to think before you moved. You knew you weren't good. It didn't sound right, but you didn't quit. You kept going on. So your unconscious incompetence moves to conscious incompetence. Through the third stage of development is conscious competence. Means you have to think before pushing a key on the keyboard. I have to bling,